How expedient, how germane is, what we now call national unity, that issue of national unity in Nigeria?
Yeah, I think that I want to say on the premise that every nation state, faces the challenge of how they manage issues around unity and national cohesion. And that is because the human society is diverse in different forms. So you put up a framework, to ensure that these diversities are well managed and people live in peace and in harmony. And that is why all the structures, all the institutions, all the laws and everything, are put in place to ensure that the unity of the country is in place. First and foremost, we have a constitution, that provides the fundamental guiding principles to ensure that everybody lives peacefully and harmoniously, a sense of inclusion, for everybody, and all that. But that be as it is, knowing the nature of human nature, the natural nature of human being is a bit competitive. I want to take it all, and all that. So those kind of things sets for acrimony. But like I said, there are frameworks that provide guidance, constitutional provisions that provide guidance for how human beings regulate their conduct. There are also spiritual frameworks, in terms of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and some other fundamental human principles that ensure that human beings are human beings and they live, harmoniously and peacefully, irrespective of tribe, religion, race, or geographical locations where you find yourself. So it is in human nature, to live peacefully. It is also in human nature also to be aggressive and to fight, to want to take all and all that. But like I said, there is always a conduct, the fundamental principles that human beings must have. Once you fall short of those fundamental principles, then there is a sanctioning mechanism. Even both the constitutional framework and even the spiritual framework and other moral principles, that guide human conduct across the world. So like I said, the struggle for unity, if you look at it carefully, is on the side. But human beings by nature will live peacefully. And human beings also by nature will struggle to want to dominate or overpower that person, leading to crisis, disunity, like we will say. But like I said, human beings by nature are more disposed, towards living peacefully and all that. And that is why if you find somebody stranded anywhere, if you find yourself in a strictly white-dominated environment and you are stranded, you will get help. So also if you go to Bega or somewhere here and you just find yourself in Abuja and you are stranded, you're going to find somebody helping you. And that is the truth. So by nature, human beings are like that. By competition, it becomes a bit, they begin to shift from that tendency for unity, that tendency for understanding and tolerance, into more of competition and aggression, and all that. I will find all this in different spaces, either in the home front, in the workplaces, in places of worship and all that, where human diversity at times want to begin to bring about disunity because of one competition over resources, competition over attention, competition, different kind of human things, but like I said, there is always a regulation, and then the ability of any nation state to provide a sanctioning mechanism and to ensure that human beings are sanctioned for misconduct against the conduct and ethics of human existence, then you'll find a reduction in that. But where the sanctioning mechanisms are not well meted, then you begin to find that problem going forward, and all that. If you listen carefully to the presidential media chart, now talking on the broader national framework, if you listen to the presidential media chart, if you listen to the president's goodwill message, you will see he talked about, I think that for me, that New Year message is one of the most, it's like a homily, that talks about unity, that talks about empathy and compassion and a sense of neighborliness. So if we begin to pick from that particular Christmas Day speech, for example, and we begin to unpack each of those things, I think that we should be better off. And then we'll leave it, not only just to say it, but to ensure that our citizens imbibe this sense of empathy. Because whether we like it or not, we are going through times, that will stretch human ability to want to compete. I want to create some bit of disunity and all that. But if you take empathy, for example, I'm a human being like you, okay, perhaps you are more privileged than myself, then there is an understanding that you must relate with me, on that level. And then a sense of compassion. Then you begin to build a society that is cohesive. And then no matter what society goes through, once you have empathy, you have compassion, and you are united, it doesn't matter whether a society is fighting war, that society overcomes it. And I think that is what we need to begin to learn. And you find places whereby people are in distress condition, in war situation, they still maintain some bit of sanity and orderliness. So I think that is the discipline that we need to begin to get our society to become more conscious of, more aware of, and then to begin to engage, and then we'll have a much more better society. And I think before I stop at this particular time, I want to say that all of us Nigerians, whether we like it or not, we've been paying sacrifices. Both the rich, the poor, the middle class, everybody is paying severe sacrifices as a result of very fundamental structural reforms that are taking place here. What we need to do is that level of understanding, that level of empathy, that level of hope that we believe that things are going to get better for everybody in the society and all that. Then we'll now have a much more better society. But the more divisive we are, the more divisive we are, the more acrimonious we are, then the tendency for us to suffer 2 times will be there, because if we do it, that sacrifices we are paying won't work. So to make it work, we need that level of understanding, empathy, compassion, and unity, and hope to get through it.